Alright, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today, I know I'm in a different spot as I'm recording this in my basement, as it's midnight, and I'm still trying to at least think of, I guess, the words to say about that, because that game was, it, it, it it's demoralizing, and it's so frustrating, because, like, it makes Wednesday look so much worse, and that reminds you of this last time they played the Bruins. You blew the lead on the Thursday game. You got smoked Saturday, made Thursday look worse. Same thing. You blew the lead Wednesday. Saturday or Friday, you lose again, and it makes it look worse. You know, I feel like this was honestly these last three games from the Islanders game on Sunday night where they won 4-3 in overtime to Wednesday's game where you lost in overtime, and tonight it's consistently been better hockey. I think they've had some great moments, bad moments. Tonight's first period was a lot better than last game's first period. The Flyers kind of owned it to them. They had some pressure. A lot of penalties in the first, but kind of just to start off, a few things on the injury front. Hart and back spasms. He's day to day. He left practice early this morning. Moose was in the tonight. Moose was in net tonight. That was already predetermined before Hart. Lyon was called up as the backup, off of the taxi squad. Myers, he is hurt. He's out with a upper body injury. Do not know how long that is. I guess we'll have to wait and see in a few days. Any updates from Alain Vigneault, things like that. Lines tonight were Giroux, Hayes, Voracek, Lindblom, Patrick, and Konechny, JVR, Lawton, and Farabee, and then Raffle, Bunneman, and Aubé-Kubel. Provorov and Ghost, Sanheim and Braun, Hag and Gustafsson were the defensive pairs, and obviously, as I said, Elliott in net for the Flyers. Flyers definitely had some pressure early from the Hayes line. That first line for the Flyers, they were definitely on it. Konechny drew a penalty with some great effort on a puck that he deflected out of the neutral zone. Carlo ended up holding him. Flyers get a power play. Nice work on the power play, but nothing really crazy. Both units definitely had some pressure, though. The Flyers definitely had push. They had to keep it up. They were very aggressive. They were clogging up Pastrnak, that line that torched them the other night. They completely clogged up Pastrnak, and not even just him, the whole Bruins in general. They didn't really have much zone time, and when they did, nothing was too crazy. Flyers, or Lawton takes a penalty here. Boston power play 11:22. Lawton takes a slash. Really good on the penalty kill, to be honest. Flyers blocked some shots. They clogged up essentially every lane possible, being shorthanded, and they ended up killing it off. Patrick Line, very smart playing in the neutral zone. They were all over Marchand, giving them literally no time to make plays. That's one thing I noticed a lot. As I said, the first period last game was very bad. Flyers definitely had push in this one. Leads to an ozone pressure from the Lawton line off of a faceoff and a JVR tip, save made by Rask. So again, they kind of transition that into breaking up plays in the neutral zone, leading to offensive chances. That's kind of what you want to see early in the game, where last game's first period wasn't too hot, and you really couldn't get much going. We actually had our first fight of the year for the Flyers. Aubé-Kubel ended up fighting Clifton. He had 5 hits last game, and it was, as I said, Flyers' first fight of the year. It didn't really look like Aubé-Kubel could get set on the fight, but still, it's awesome to see that, because again, he's been the guy that's definitely been throwing his weight around. As obviously having five hits last game, as I said, and it seemed like that's kind of what it is, and that's what I love about the back to backs that they have, because you kind of get that playoff mentality. Scrum after the whistle, with Wagner going at Sanheim, Konechny involved. Who else would have thought TK wouldn't have been involved there? Back to backs definitely will do that, and as I said, that's what you're going to see. That's what I love about it. 4-on-4, Wagner gets a rough. TK gets an interference. There was actually an interference on Konechny before, so Wagner ended up taking a penalty to give it offsetting minors with 5.5 left in the first. Farabee gets high sticked 5-on-3 for 2 minutes. Or actually 4-on-3. Excuse me. It was actually for a minute 54. Those 6 seconds kind of ran over. So this was the weird part, because there was I didn't even know how to describe it. Like, someone came out early, and it was the wrong guy who came out of the box. The scores table had no idea what they were doing. There was a pause in the game, delay, all that crap. Flyers, they looked all right on the power play, but again, this is kind of where they shot themselves in the foot early, because you're no score, you're late in the game, you get a couple chances on the power play here to move the puck, and they got set up a couple chances, nothing crazy. And the first period ended up ending. Flyers had a good period, though. They owned it. had lots of momentum and power play time, but they had to capitalize and they didn't. Shots on goal for the first were 7-5 in favor of the Flyers. Second period, I'll say this: Boston had momentum. They had push. They were aggressive, but the Flyers defended very well. Didn't really give them much. When they did, it wasn't anything too crazy. Moose had a couple big saves here and there, but again, the Flyers really defended well, a lot better than Wednesday night. And I think that's kind of what you expect. So early on, few chances for Boston, off a broken stick from Gostisbehere. Flyers come right back with some pressure of their own from Konechny and Patrick. The Bruins definitely had push in the first 5 minutes of this period, as I said. It was really back and forth, honestly. It was chances for both teams each way, but the Flyers definitely were stuck in the zone time category. Boston had a lot of zone time. Boston gets a power play here. Flyers doing a really good job, as I said, clogging up the lanes similar to the first period. Just sent it right back down. Pasternak ended up getting stopped by Elliott on a partial breakaway. Flyers ended up killing it off. Farabee gets a penalty shot. This is where I really don't know what Joel was doing here. It was like a breakaway. He ended up getting taken down. They called the penalty shot. He goes in. I don't know what he was thinking. Rask was kind of down. I guess he was waiting for him to make the first move. Shoots 5-hole. It looked like a very, very easy save for Rask. Again, if Farabee scores that, it's 1-0 late in the second period off a penalty shot. Who knows how the rest of the game plays out from there. The Flyers, they ended up getting a power play with late in the second. Wagner ended up taking a roughing penalty with literally like a couple seconds left in the period on JVR. JVR drew the penalty, and then going into the third, JVR scores to make it 1-0 Flyers. But shots on goal after the second period, 13-11 in favor of the Bruins, 8-4 in the period. And in total, they were 13-11 in the period, 8-4. But again, as I said, Flyers power play to start, they end up getting the goal. JVR tip in front off a Gustafsson shot. Hayes settles it down. Giroux back to Gustafsson, shot, tip 5-0 on Rask. You might be wondering, why was Gustafsson out there? I kind of looked at it as like, I personally saw that Provorov, the last few games, not just tonight, he's kind of bobbled the puck a little bit at the point. And that's kind of some of the problem that he had last year, is kind of what they talked about, was like, Provorov kind of bobbles the puck, and it was the debate, like, do they use Provorov, do they use Ghost, do they whatever, could they use somebody else? Honestly, I like Gustafsson back there. I thought he had a good game. And he ends up getting an assist here, and the Flyers have a 1-0 lead. Now, this is my issue with this game. You have a 1-0 lead, you score very early into the period, and you just sat back. You just let them just come right at you. All the Flyers were doing were just getting the puck right at the red line, getting it deep, and changing. There's a whole period left. You're only up by a goal. I don't understand why they would continue to do that. It's like you're pretty much shooting yourself in the foot. Well, what happened? The Bruins, they had 3 icing in the first 2 minutes and 39 seconds of this period, and you already had the goal. So as I said, it's a stupid penalty by Wagner at the end of the period. JVR draws it and scores. You made them pay. Why would you let them essentially come back in the game? Why would you take your foot off the gas in a 1-0 game when you just scored, where 40 minutes of it, there was no goals, and you just got the first goal? I don't really understand that. Gustafsson had a turnover here for a golden Boston chance. McAvoy ended up fanning on the shot, and Lindblom got it out for a change. It was pretty much back and forth hockey, but as I said, the Flyers really weren't doing anything. It was like they had a couple looks, but nothing crazy. Offensive zone draw for the Bruins, around 8 minutes left, and they score. Shot from the point. Whoever, I believe it was it was JVR covering it. I think McAvoy shot it, and it was a slap shot. Moose didn't know where the rebound was. Scramble in front. Marchand slams it home, and Moose gives up an absolute squeaker to Corrali. He shoots it, and it's like a seeing eye shot. He just completely misses it, and it goes off the pipe and in, and it's 2-1. 2 goals in 27 seconds, and all the momentum that you kind of had. And it's just like, it's such a crazy turning point, because it's like, okay, it's a tie game. Let's pick it up here. Let's go get that goal. Oh, wait, it's 2-1. Like, it's just like that, and they end up getting a good bounce. And again, it's one that Moose has to have, and he said he should have had it. He just completely missed it. I thought it went off his glove when I first saw it, but again, it's a tough bounce, and it's in the back of your net. That's pretty much how this one would end. The Flyers get a power play here with 3:57 left. Shooting, but nothing too crazy. Seemed like every shot they had was from the point. They took a timeout with 1:29 left. Had lots of pressure, but they ended up falling in this one 2-1. Really good game. I thought the Flyers, again, they played a solid game. They played smart. I think for the most part, the game consistently has gotten better for them, but they just can't close out the game. I mean, there's no reason to take your foot off the pedal like that in a 1-0 game. So just a little stat here. The Bruins have 11 third period goals against the Flyers in the 4 games. Both teams combined in the 4 games, in the first and second period, have 6. They scored 11 in the third, just the third, in 4 games. I don't know what it is. They can't close it out. The Bruins have rallied in the last 3 games, from the comeback against Washington to the 2 against the Flyers. And it sucks because this is a game where you come into it, you're tied in points 16-16 with both teams. Whoever wins goes to first, and the Bruins go. So now the Flyers are 0-2 against Boston, when realistically they probably should be 3-1. You could probably argue the Saturday game if they show up there, but who knows. But I think that the Flyers really should be 3-1 against the Bruins and have some more points and should be in first place right now. But it is what it is. Again, you need to come out on Sunday flying against Washington. They have 2 tough games against Caps on the road. Then you have New Jersey, and who knows what's going to happen there with the whole COVID situation with the Devils. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But it looks like now Flyers 2 games, Capitals Sunday at noon, and then Tuesday at 6 o'clock, which did end up getting changed from 7 to 6, so 6 o'clock game on Tuesday. So Flyers pregame and everything was just going to be an hour earlier, so at 5, things like that. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts below on this one. Tough loss from the Flyers tonight. I'm not mad, but I got just like that bummed feeling because it makes Wednesday look worse, and it's again a split where you got 1 out of a possible 4 when you probably should have had 2 and even 4. So again, let me know your guys' thoughts below. Remember, guys, podcast articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.